Hi, my name is Marian Jarlinski. I'm an associate professor of health policy and management in the School of Public Health.
I'm Nipa Majumdar. I'm an associate professor in the English department and the Film and Media Studies program in the Dietrich School of Arts and Sciences.
I'm Melinda Chico-Chopo. I'm a lecturer in the psychology department. I've been teaching as a full-time lecturer at Pitt for the last 4.5 years, and I taught as a part-time instructor for about 4 years before that.
We're here tonight because our union is approaching an important milestone. We're finally moving into the election phase of our campaign. Last year, we submitted union authorization cards, signed statements of faculty support for our union to the Pennsylvania Labor Relations Board, or PLRB, to petition for a faculty vote on forming our union. Pitt's administration challenged our petition, claiming we hadn't gathered the requisite percentage of signatures, a common union busting tactic. Over the summer, the PLRB ruled in our favor, finding that Pitt had misrepresented the number of faculty working at the university by several hundred. This means that after years of work, we're finally going to get to vote. We don't know exactly when just yet. The PLRB is currently holding hearings to review some outstanding questions about who will be eligible to vote, focusing primarily on whether the PLRB will overturn its previous ruling and add faculty from the School of Medicine to our bargaining unit, rather than upholding its previous ruling that medical faculty are their own unit. Whatever the outcome, though, we will proceed to a vote next year, possibly as early as spring semester. We do know that once the date is set, we'll have only a few weeks before the vote, so that's why we're doing everything we can to get ready now. It's been a long road, but I'm so excited that the finish line is finally in sight.
Half a decade ago, some faculty at Pitt started having conversations about their jobs. They wondered why a world-class research university wasn't paying its faculty like they were world-class. They were concerned about the effects that trends in employment, including an increased reliance on adjunct labor, phasing out tenure stream positions, and increased turnover, were having on their working conditions and student learning conditions at Pitt. They were worried that words and phrases like shared governance, transparency, and collegiality were increasingly difficult to square with their daily experiences working at Pitt. So they did what people in Pittsburgh often do when they're concerned about the livability and quality of their workplace experience. They started organizing. They spoke to representatives from several different unions, but at the end of the day, who better to turn to than the United Steelworkers? When faculty started talking to the USW, asking if they would be willing to support a faculty campaign, it might have seemed an odd fit at first. In fact, professors have a lot in common with workers in other industries. We work hard, we take pride in our work, and we all deserve good pay and a meaningful voice in how our workplaces run. Plus, the USW is a union that has represented a very diverse body of workers for many decades. From nurses to glassblowers to lawyers to tire manufacturers to tech workers to librarians to, of course, steelworkers. The USW has already had a lot of success organizing and working with academic workers, with one of its largest locals at the University of Toronto, and wins close to home at Point Park and Robert Morris universities. Organizing as a unit as big as the one that we're going to have at Pitt is no small task, which is why faculty reached out to the USW for their help. How big a bargaining unit, you might ask? Huge. When we vote to form a union, our unit will include all ranks of faculty from every school, department, and campus. NTS, or as they're now called, appointment stream faculty, tenure stream, tenured, part-timers, clinical faculty, everyone is going to have a role to play in helping to decide what working at Pitt looks like and helping to improve Pitt's standing as a world-class institution. When we're finally a union, we'll join with a growing group of all ranks faculty unions, and all of us standing together in this way will give us more power than any subgroup of faculty could have standing alone.
So after years of work, we are on the cusp of officially forming our union. Since this effort began, we've had hundreds of conversations with faculty of all ranks and in every department, and found shared concerns across the university that our union can address. Central among these, especially since the pandemic upended our lives, is shared governance. Pitt's administration likes to pay lip service to the idea that Pitt faculty members and administrators work closely together to guide the university's day-to-day operations and plan Pitt's long-term priorities and policies. This is obviously not true for the majority of Pitt's faculty who are outside the tenure stream, but even for tenured faculty, it's a dubious claim. While the Faculty Senate does good and important work, at the end of the day, it operates primarily in an advisory capacity with little formal authority. The most important decisions about our university are out of our hands, creating tremendous uncertainty for many faculty. Our union campaign is all about giving faculty a more meaningful role and a stronger voice in decision-making at Pitt. Related to this is the issue of transparency. Important decisions about promotion and retention, budgets, resource allocation, and more happen behind an opaque curtain. This is not in keeping with meaningful faculty governance. And given the challenges presented by COVID, bringing a faculty voice to these conversations is now more important than ever. Faculty we've spoken to are also concerned about bread and butter issues like pay, childcare, and maintaining their benefits. In particular, full-time tenured stream NTS faculty at Pitt, when compared to colleagues at peer institutions across the United States, are among the worst compensated. Family leave policies are unclear and applied in an inconsistent fashion, while many faculty with caregiving responsibilities are being pushed to their limits right now, trying to juggle family and academic responsibilities with little support from the administration. Still, other faculty we've spoken to are deeply concerned about academic freedom and ensuring they retain intellectual property rights over their teaching materials, research, and creative works. This is also particularly crucial right now, as many of us are by necessity putting our teaching materials online. By coming together, we can make meaningful changes around these and many other issues.
My name is Alex Dragon. I'm a teacher at Falk Laboratory School, and we're a progressive K-8 school, which is part of the School of Education, and a significant percentage of the parents of our students are Pitt faculty themselves. And as I've talked with Falk colleagues about the union campaign, I've confirmed what I already suspected. We all love our jobs at Falk and value the unique benefits and opportunities we have there. We have good working relationships with our administrators and appreciate that they've been working in recent years to improve transparency and equity, among other things. So we're not looking for an adversarial relationship with our administrators. We want to enshrine much of what we already value into a contract so that we can be sure to keep things that are important to us and build from there. That said, there's some room to improve, especially around issues like sick and personal leave and transparency. Voting yes has been an easy decision for me from the outset. Our school was founded on progressive values, and we prioritize teaching students about social justice and how they can make the world a more equitable place. Forming a union will give us Falk and Pitt employees a democratic process to allow our voices and values to inform our work more directly, which only benefits us. So for these reasons and more, I'm excited to vote yes to form our union.
Hi, my name is Brett Andrews. I'm a research assistant professor in the Department of Physics and Astronomy, and I support forming a union because I want better family-friendly policies like family leave, sick leave, and childcare.
Hi everyone, I'm Lori Jaquila, a professor at the University of Pittsburgh's Greensburg campus, and I'm here to tell you why I support the unionization of our great university. My father was a first-generation American. He was also a Pittsburgh steelworker. My mother was a first-generation American, and she was a nurse at what was then Braddock Hospital. I was raised in a family of union people. We believed in the value of work. We believed in the dignity of all workers, and we believed, unfortunately, that sometimes those in power don't always do the right things for everyone. Unions give us a voice. They unify us, they lift us all up, and they help people that are less privileged than people like me. Please support the union. It will help faculty, staff, our graduate students, and it will help this great university that is as much my home as the city of Pittsburgh itself. Thank you for your vote, and please remember at this time when it's so important for us to help one another, by lifting everyone up, we all rise up together.
Hi, I'm Meredith Lynn, and I'm Assistant Curator of the Museum of Fine Arts at Florida State University in Tallahassee.
And I'm Tenley Bick, Assistant Professor of Art History, also at Florida State University. We have a faculty union at FSU. It's part of the United Faculty of Florida, and it's helped to make our lives better in a number of ways.
For example, despite a recent mandate by the Board of Governors that every institution in the public university system teach instruction entirely in person in the spring, we've still been given the option to remain remote.
The union also helped to negotiate our layoff article to help protect faculty during the pandemic.
As junior faculty, we are especially appreciative of the union's advocacy for issues that impact us, including equity.
For example, all FSU faculty recently received a small raise to their base salaries. We also have the opportunity frequently to meet with our negotiating team within the union to learn and to inform ongoing discussions with university administration and management.
We think that you should vote to unionize.
Advocating for yourself is always better when you do it together.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Boyle, and I'm a fixed-term faculty member at the University of Minnesota Duluth, where I belong to the University Education Association Union. Being fixed-term faculty means that I don't have the protections of tenure. My union has ensured that I am paid equitably for my work and that I have excellent benefits such as healthcare and retirement.
Hi, I'm Colleen Burke, President of USW Local 1998. With over 8,000 members, we are one of the biggest USW locals in North America. We don't work in a steel mill, we don't work in a mine, we don't work in manufacturing. We work at the University of Toronto and its affiliated colleges. When our local organized over 20 years ago, the idea of university workers in the Steelworkers was definitely strange. However, the drive was a success, and now we have had 20 years of strong contracts and strong member engagement. USW now represents staff at 3 Canadian universities and has expanded into several in the US. With USW, you get strong representation from a union with experience in the university sector. You have the backing of the union if you have problems at work. You have resources from the union to help you bargain your contract and run successful bargaining campaigns. And most importantly, USW will help ensure your health and safety at work. Whether it's lab safety, bullying and harassment, threats of violence on campus, or COVID safety protocols, USW has the resources and training to help you advocate for a safe workplace. USW is a democratic union. You will elect your leadership, you will elect your bargaining committee. You will collectively decide what your bargaining priorities are, and you'll vote on your contract. USW is an engaging union with a broad program of education and leadership development. Members are encouraged to get involved in the union at all levels. So even if the only steel that you work with is your filing cabinet, USW is the union for university workers, and joining it will bring you strength and power in the workplace. I'm a university worker, and I'm very proud to be a steelworker.
Our union will be a democratic organization that represents the needs of the faculty as determined by the faculty members themselves. The faculty will elect representatives to the bargaining committee to negotiate contract terms subject to ratification by the members. The elected bargaining committee acts on behalf of the faculty as a whole, representing the interests of all campuses and faculty of all job classes. Our union's leadership will also be elected. Faculty vote on which of their colleagues will represent them as officers. Those officers then take directives from members through discussion and voting at general membership meetings. So as a fundamentally democratic institution, our union will be whatever we, the faculty, decide to make it. One good example of this is strikes. We often hear from faculty that they are concerned about having to strike. Let's be clear, no one wants to strike. The option of a strike is an important tool in the union toolbox, but it's not one that gets used a lot. It's a last resort when nothing else is working. In 98% of cases, USW contracts are reached without a strike. And among higher ed faculty unions nationwide, strikes are rare and tend to be short in duration when they do occur. Strikes are only considered in extremely serious circumstances. For instance, if the faculty bargaining team believes that the administration is not playing fair in contract negotiations or is refusing to seriously discuss reasonable proposals, they might consider asking the membership to authorize a strike. Then there would be a vote, and faculty would have to vote to authorize a strike in order for one to take place. Normally, a strike authorization vote requires more than 90% to vote in favor, not merely a majority. After all, a strike will only be successful if it has the overwhelming support of faculty. So a strike would only occur if the vast majority felt that the situation was dire and urgent enough to warrant one. And it would always be our decision.
I'm Lauren Collister, and I'm in favor of a union of Pitt faculty because it is by and for all of the faculty, including faculty librarians like me. It's a way for all of the faculty at the University of Pittsburgh to come together to seek the betterment of the workplace for all of us. As a faculty librarian, I work at Hillman Library on the Oakland campus. There, I get to see faculty, students, and staff from all across the university come together to do the research, scholarship, and teaching, and the work that makes the university as wonderful as it is. I believe that we can shape a more open and democratic future for research and education at the University of Pittsburgh, a future where faculty labor is better understood, valued, and protected, and where all of us receive the resources and foundational support that we need to do our work. I have met so many amazing colleagues and learned about our shared experiences and interests through the organizing work of the Union of Pitt faculty. I truly believe that by standing together with the power of a union, we can affect real change for the good of not just ourselves as individuals and scholars, but the good of our university and our communities. That's why I support our union, and I hope you'll join me.
My name is Abigail West. I'm a lecturer in the biology department, and I support the Union of Pitt faculty because together the faculty can support each other.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jerry Dickinson. I'm an associate professor of law at the University of Pittsburgh School of Law. And several years ago, I joined several of my faculty colleagues here at the law school to advocate for unionizing here at the university. And I do vividly remember working alongside my colleagues in solidarity, visiting with adjunct faculty members to discuss this movement towards unionizing. And it was a powerful moment. It was a powerful moment of solidarity, knowing that we as a faculty were organizing, we were fighting for a cause that was much greater than ourselves. And I do remember in one encounter with an adjunct faculty member, a question that was posed to me and a couple of my other colleagues, which was, what's in it for me? And I think the response really was, no, this is about us working together as a faculty to make the university a more equitable place for everyone. I do think that it is imperative that we, as a university, that we have a union contract, right? A collective bargaining agreement, a bilateral agreement that is legally binding. And it provides protections to, among other things, stipends and healthcare premiums and working conditions and other benefits, while at the same time, we're actually talking about expanding privileges, right? Everything from annual percentage-based increases in our stipends to greater protections against workplace harassment and discrimination and much, much more. Look, the bottom line is this. The University of Pittsburgh is one of the world's finest research institutions. There's no doubt about that. And a significant reason for why it is as prestigious as it is because of the faculty, the extraordinary commitments and contributions that are made by the faculty year in and year out. And at the end of the day, I, as a faculty member, I want our work and commitment and contributions to be reflected in a bilateral agreement for everyone that enshrines the values and commitment towards equity for this university. And so with that being said, yours in solidarity. Thanks so much. Bye.
Hi, my name is Luis Oliveira, and I'm a teaching assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science here at University of Pittsburgh. And I've been organizing for the faculty union since last August. For me, unionizing is the path forward. Collective bargaining gives everyone the opportunity to yield an equally high bargaining power, giving faculty a better chance to negotiate in equal footing with the university. Having witnessed non-unionized professionals struggling to keep up with other workers because they didn't have enough support in their negotiation, I'm a strong believer on the benefits of unions. Specifically, that they play a vital role in protecting, supporting, and informing professionals of their rights and options. Union representation can prevent the lopsided nature of individual contract negotiation, where only the individual benefits, and instead, unions ensure that everyone receives fair treatment, including those with part-time assignments, visa-backed workers, and short-duration contracts.
Hi, this is Caligula. He supports faculty unionization because he's under the mistaken impression that solidarity means cuddles. I'm Dr. Bernie Young, visiting assistant professor at the University of Pittsburgh Bradford. And I support unionization for the same reason, solidarity. And no, I don't think it means cuddles. I believe that unions will allow us to speak with one voice rather than our separate voices. No one in the administration enjoys waiting to the last second to renew a contract. No one in the university enjoys canceling tenure streamlines. No one in the university enjoys canceling majors. No one enjoys doing any of this. They do it because faculty are the easiest to cut when cuts have to come. And even though we've been cut to the bone, unless we speak together, if we continue to rely on speaking with individual voices as if all our problems are individual problems, we're going to be ignored and the cuts will keep coming. The only way to resist any kind of further cuts, which we all know are coming, is to speak together. One voice. Or an injustice to one, even if it doesn't impact me, is an injustice that I feel as keenly as if it did impact me. A cut to one program is a cut to my program. And a cut to me would be a cut to you. This is the only way we can prevent future cuts from happening. Unionization is a balancing of power structures so that we who do so much of the work at the university have a say almost commensurate with the amount of work we put in.
Many people ask us about union dues. How much will they be? What are they for? The administration may try to scare people by suggesting that there are no clear answers to these questions, but that's just not the case. Union dues with the USW are 1.45% plus 2 cents an hour. For non-hourly workers like faculty, it's assumed that full-time employees work a 40-hour week. Our union's not going to ask you to track your hours. We know that's a significant amount of money, especially for part-time faculty living paycheck to paycheck. But keep this in mind. No one pays any dues until we vote to ratify our first contract, and the pay raises that are likely to come with it take effect. Few people in any workplace are willing to vote for a contract where they get less than they did before they organized, which is why, in practice, virtually every first contract negotiated by unionized workers includes a raise for everyone that's well above the dues rate. Otherwise, no one will vote for it. But what are dues for? This money doesn't just disappear. It's put to good use in ways that we have significant control over. 44% of our dues stay with our local union, and we will decide what we want to use them for via a democratic process in which every member has a right to participate. The rest of the dues are pooled in our international union, which allows them to provide locals like ours with important things like training, legal assistance, experts in contract bargaining to advise us on negotiation strategies, and organizers like the union staff who are helping us run this campaign. Importantly, political activities and contributions by the International Union are paid for via a separate political action fund that every member can choose whether or not they wish to contribute to. That part is totally voluntary, and anyone who chooses to contribute must opt in, not opt out. So whatever the administration may try to tell us as the election draws near, dues are no mystery. We know exactly how much they are and what they're for.
Hi, my name is Tyler. I'm an adjunct here at Pitt. There are a lot of reasons why I support the union campaign, but one of them is because I want to create a better university for adjuncts and other non-tenure stream faculty. I've been teaching here at Pitt for 6 years now, and in that time, I've had to reapply for my job or be rehired onto a new contract a total of 8 times. My most recent contract expired this past spring, and the only reason I'm teaching now is because I just happened to email the right person at the right time. It's really hard going into each semester knowing that all of the hard work I put into meeting with students, planning lessons, grading, writing letters of recommendation, publishing work in my own field, and being an active member of my department, none of that really is worth more than a 3-month contract that pays well below the rates of most comparable R1 universities. We've seen that other universities like Rutgers, SUNY Buffalo, and SUNY Stony Brook, places that have unions, have been able to bargain for increases in pay that help not just adjuncts but all faculty. We've seen them bargain for things like minimum 1-year contracts for NTS faculty, and we've seen them bargain to help create promotion pathways that help boost the careers of longtime adjuncts. But Pitt is not going to do these things on its own. The gains are real, but we need a union in order to make them happen.
Hi, my name is Carl Redwood. I'm an adjunct professor at the School of Social Work at the University of Pittsburgh. I've also taught classes in some other departments. I'm very much supportive of the union, and I'm going to vote yes for the union because I think it will really help part-time professors like me, particularly adjunct professors who only teach 1 class or sometimes 2 classes. A lot of times we're like an afterthought, but increasingly the makeup of the faculty is shifting towards adjunct faculty, and adjunct faculty need a lot of support from other faculty to make sure they're included as not full faculty, but real faculty, because we're treated as if we're not. Little things become big things for adjuncts. For example, having privileges to use the library or taken away right after your class is over, and you don't get your new ID till classes start. So you can't do any prep work in the library. That's one small thing, but it's not a small thing for adjuncts. The whole issue of IDs expiring as soon as class is over, and not being able to get IDs in advance of your class, so you can't do prep, is a real issue. The other thing is there's not necessarily a lot of support in other parts of the university for adjuncts, but adjuncts are treated as like stepchildren of the university, but really in order for the university to work, adjuncts are really a big part of why the teaching mission of the university has been successful. And there's adjuncts in every different department, and we're all around the university, and we should be a big part of the decision making and information flow. Even the information flow for adjuncts, like you just go in and then leave. You're just there and leave. The other thing is your ID will expire after a while. Like if you have email and you don't teach for a term, then your email will expire. Things like that, even though adjuncts may only teach in the fall and don't teach in the spring. But those are small things, but they're things that have been raised to the administration before, but no action has been taken to kind of correct them. So it's important that we all stick together and vote for the union, particularly the adjuncts and the full-time professors. So we're one big group of faculty that kind of work together.
My name is Kurt Summersgill. I'm a dentist and oral pathologist at the School of Dental Medicine at Pitt. I'm an associate professor, and I've been here for about 20 years. I'm going to vote yes for a faculty union at Pitt. Why am I going to do that? I have three main reasons. One is I'm really concerned about the adjunct faculty, both here at the school and on main campus and the other campuses. They seem to have no protections at all for their work. A union will provide strength in numbers and allow them a voice that can be heard. A second reason is pay equity and transparency. How are salaries dispersed fairly? With a union, we'd be able to be in that decision-making process. And thirdly, and more specifically for the dental school and some of the clinical schools, is our workload. Many clinical faculty are overworked and overscheduled. A union will help require a more equitable distribution of workload. And those are the reasons why I'm voting yes for a faculty union at Pitt.
Another common question we hear from faculty is about what might be in our contract or collective bargaining agreement, known as CBA. A CBA can cover whatever issues concern the union's membership. That's what those surveys we've been asking faculty to take are for. What could faculty members choose to bargain for? To start with, subjects directly related to our terms and conditions of employment. Under the law, these are called mandatory subjects of bargaining because when we have a union, the university is legally obligated to negotiate about them in good faith with the faculty bargaining committee. Here are some examples, many of which are drawn from accomplishments of existing faculty union contracts at other universities. We can bargain for pay increases, especially for adjuncts and NTS faculty, and for pay floors that can vary across the schools. Our teaching, research, and service expectations would also be mandatory subjects of bargaining, as would transparency in promotion and tenure procedures. Although Pitt's healthcare benefits are pretty generous, they're not guaranteed, and there's nothing to prevent the administration from scaling them back at any time. We can negotiate to lock those benefits in place. We can negotiate for greater access to childcare or other benefits. Protection from harassment and discrimination, often with greater fairness and effectiveness for both the accuser and the accused than the existing Title IX process. Health and safety. If the COVID-19 pandemic has shown us anything, it's that health and safety regulations are vital across the university. All faculty could benefit from a stronger voice in the formulation and enforcement of health and safety regulations. Protection of our intellectual property, an issue that's becoming increasingly important as more of our teaching takes place online and Pitt seeks to outsource teaching to third parties such as Outlier. Governance clauses that designate certain issues to be within the purview of faculty to decide amongst themselves in their own departments rather than the domain of the administration. An independent grievance process that ensures the rights of faculty are enforced in a transparent and consistent way. Importantly, for a school as diverse as Pitt, the contract can include distinct clauses focusing on the needs of faculty in different schools, different campuses, or even different departments. The CBA need not be a one-size-fits-all. The law also allows us to bring up what are known as permissive subjects. Now, technically, the administration doesn't have to bargain over these, but doing so can be a productive way for faculty and administration to collaborate on policies that also affect faculty working conditions and the academic mission. For example, we could use the bargaining process to discuss the university's policy on plagiarism, or to create a forum to give faculty input on new construction projects or other non-academic expenditures. As long as it's legal, we can ask to bargain over it. The administration will likely tell you that because we don't know exactly what's going to be in the contract, there's no guarantee that you'll end up any better off. It's true that we don't know exactly what will be in the CBA yet, any more than we can predict the future if we don't form a union. But one thing we can guarantee is that if we build a union, we'll have a legal right to meaningful input in the most important decisions about our jobs, which is more than we can say now. And remember, no contract can take effect until it's ratified by the faculty.
Hi, I'm Rachel Bezanson, and I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Physics and Astronomy at Pitt. The university research and educational missions are propelled by the work done by the Pitt faculty. Therefore, I support the Pitt Faculty Union because I believe that we, the faculty of all ranks, deserve to have a seat at the table, bolstering communication and advocating for our interests and needs as the university navigates these difficult times.
I'm Dr. Paul Douglas Newman, professor of history at the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown. I am for the union because I am for academic democracy. For us to have a fair, equitable, and safe workplace, we must have our voices heard. We must have a seat at the table. And for 25 years at Pitt Johnstown, neither I nor my colleagues have ever had the support or the encouragement that we need from the administration in Oakland to have our voices heard in university governance. We need a union now because we must be heard now more than ever. Please join me in voting yes for this union.
Hi, I'm Michael Goodhart from the Department of Political Science. I support the Pitt Faculty Union because I believe in democratic workplaces, because unions enable workers to shape our own conditions of employment. That's why I support unions generally, because they promote the dignity of labor and of laborers. But I support the Pitt Faculty Union for more mundane reasons as well. I've taught at Pitt for nearly 20 years, and I'm a tenured full professor, and I've never had a contract. I've seen and even been involved in grievances where the only appeal was to the manager who made the decision that's being appealed. I've witnessed all kinds of arbitrary and capricious decisions about salary and service and leave and other personnel matters. A union will help the university to do better by its faculty, and that will help us to do better by our students. Pitt works because we do, and when we can work better, everyone wins.
My name's Chris Connerboy. I'm a member of faculty here at Pitt. I've been for 6 years now. I'm on the tenure track and have been for 4 years now. The reason I'm voting for a faculty union here at Pitt is, well, as you can tell from my accent, I'm not from around here. And so when I arrived here, the fact that there wasn't a union was a surprise. I come from a country where unions in higher education are normal, every day. And so coming here, it was a surprise that there wasn't one. So having the chance and the opportunity to vote for one is a great thing. And so really, I just wanted the fact that it's normal to have one. We should be looking for one, especially in these times now when we're thinking about factors that come into play around social justice. The labour movement is really one of the ways in which we can promote social justice, not only within with regard to our employment, but with regard to our employer, how they sit in the surrounding community as well. So again, this is a real opportunity for us. Other factors that come into play for me really centre around the fact that we can come together and have our collective voice heard by having an effective seat at the table. It's only through that we really get heard. And so those are the reasons where I feel that having a union is really important, especially within school health and rehabilitation sciences. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Deb Polk. I'm a psychologist and I'm an assistant professor in dental public health in dental medicine. And I also have a secondary appointment in DCHS in public health. And I'm supporting the union for a number of reasons. But I guess sort of fundamentally, I feel like right now, the way things are, administration has a lot of information. They know like all of our salaries and everything that they have access to is a lot, whereas I, as an individual, only know about myself. And I feel like that doesn't lead to a good conversation or an effective conversation. And I believe that a union will really help make things a level playing field. And so for that reason, and for a number of other reasons, I am supporting the union.
My name is Sarah Peterson. I'm an assistant professor in the School of Health and Rehab Sciences. I've been with the university for almost 12 years. I'm in favor of the union as I've experienced a lack of transparency and opportunity when it comes to upward mobility. Faculty often have no say or clarity on advancement paths, and we often see that women do not receive a raise upon promotion when their male counterparts do. Our union will give us a seat at the table to resolve these issues with a legally enforceable contract.
Hi, everybody. I'm Laura Roop, Assistant Professor of Practice at the School of Education. I'm supporting the formation of a faculty union at University of Pittsburgh because I've been inspired by the examples of teachers' unions in Detroit, Chicago, and Seattle. Together, we can advocate for equity and justice and greater transparency on our campus and beyond. Some scholars are being targeted by a media group called Campus Reform. By unionizing, we could stand together against such attacks. A union would also help us face the challenges of this pandemic collectively. I hope you'll consider joining me.
Before we can win any of the gains we've been talking about in this event, we have to win our union vote. That's why it's more important than ever that faculty get involved with the campaign now. There are many ways you can do that.
The easiest thing you can do, if you haven't already, is to fill out our online commitment card. You can find it on our website at pittfaculty.org/join. We use the information from these forms to keep track of who our solid supporters are, so we know who wants to hear from us with information at election time and how best to contact them. If you haven't completed one yet, please do. And if you're not sure whether or not you've already completed it, just do it again. It doesn't create any problems if someone fills it out more than once.
We also need help with our organizing activities. Across the university, we've created subsidiary organizing committees, or SOCs, that handle most of the day-to-day outreach activity of the campaign. We use the SOCs to connect with faculty we haven't had a chance to speak with yet, to plan events like department happy hours and town halls, and to build up our Get Out the Vote network to make sure everyone knows where, when, and how to vote when the time comes. The amount of work and the tasks that you take on are totally up to you. But the more people we have involved, the more likely we are to win. And if you've been waiting to get involved until the election, now is the time. To get involved with the campaign, just send an email to info@pittfaculty.org, and a colleague from the organizing committee will reach out to you with more information.
This is an exciting time for our union campaign, and we hope you'll join our efforts to make Pitt a better place for us to work, for our research and creativity to thrive, and for our students to learn. Faculty deserve a voice in deciding not just what our own labor looks like, but how our university functions. The university works because we do. On behalf of all of us on the Pitt Faculty Organizing Committee, thank you for joining us tonight.
Hi, I'm Bethany, and I'm here on behalf of the Prasad Staff Union. I am a counselor at Prasad Center, which is an LGBTQ mental health and wellness center. We also work with the HIV/AIDS communities. We're located in Lawrenceville in Pittsburgh. And our union started about a year ago, and we are in the process of bargaining for our first contract right now. And so I wanted to talk to you today as a counselor and as one of your healthcare colleagues in Pittsburgh, and talk about some of the benefits that we've seen already as we're working toward our first contract. We've been able to get more transparency from our agency, which was a big goal of ours. We've been able to have more of a say in our safety in the workplace, which has been so critical during the pandemic. And we've also been able to advocate both for ourselves and for our clients when we work on issues like maintaining a lower caseload, for the number of clients that we see each week. And so all of this has been so beneficial. I know that you're getting ready for your upcoming virtual election, and we're kind of a step ahead of you in the process. We're here cheering you on and looking forward to being able to greet you as new union siblings.
Hi, I graduated from University of Pittsburgh in 2012, and I know that the faculty contributed so largely to my success at the university and my career afterwards. I support their right to unionize wholeheartedly.
As a multi-generational Pitt alum, I know that the instructors are what makes the university so special. So I wholeheartedly support their right to unionize.
I'm Rachel Masalamany, and I'm a librarian at the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh and a member of the United Library Workers. A little over a year ago, my colleagues and I won our election to form a union with the United Steelworkers. Since then, I've been working as a member of our bargaining committee to negotiate our first contract and our working conditions through this global pandemic. I've seen firsthand what a difference forming a union with my colleagues has made for our safety and the quality of our working lives. As a former library worker at Pitt's University Library System, I know that faculty and librarians deserve the security that a union provides. The United Library Workers and I support our University of Pittsburgh librarian colleagues, as well as the rest of the Pitt faculty, in your work to form your union. When it comes time for your election, I urge you to vote Union Yes, because winning a union is the most powerful thing you can do to ensure a safe, just, and equitable university for all faculty.